Hi, I'm Dr. Yvette Kennedy, more affectionately known as Gigi, and I am here today because I am a very blessed woman. And the reason I'm blessed is because, first of all, I woke up this morning with my right mind and breathing and being able to move my limbs. But the reason why I say I am one very blessed woman is because I have 4 children, and all of them finished college. All of them were received some type of scholarship, and when they were growing up and doing these things in school, elementary, middle school, and high school, people would always ask me, how'd your children get so smart? And I said, well, because they obey and do what they're supposed to do and they do their homework. But um, since they have grown up and now I'm working with my grandchildren and other small children, I realized that it was a bit more than that. It was a bit more than that. Like I said, they all graduated from college. 2 of them have their doctoral degrees, and one of them, well, three of them got scholarships that were for 10 years. They got the Gates Millennial Scholarship. So that's why I'm blessed, because 3 scholarships going to children in the same family is unheard of. Unheard of. And it's a miracle within itself. So I give God the glory for that. And with that being the case, like I said, when they were growing up, I thought they were just doing what was normal for children to do. And once I got my grandchildren and I was keeping them and teaching them and working with them, my daughter said, "Hey, Mom, you're doing something different with the kids, because when they go around other children their age, they know so many more things. They're just so much more alert, so much more, well, they just know things like their alphabets. They're so far ahead of the other children." So she attributed it to me doing things while they were young. Since then, um, I realized that my decision to stop practicing and to stay home with my children to teach them was really um, me staying home to teach them was really probably the most important decision I ever made in life. So now what I'm going to do is try to share some of the things that I did with them so that you can train your children from a very early age. So what happens is, I have found from research since I've been working with my grandchildren that the I have found that I have found that children learn more from the ages 0 to 3 than they do at any other time in their life. And this is because their brains are not fully developed, okay? And the brain is made of neurons or nerve cells. And those nerve cells actually connect when they are growing, or when you're learning things, they connect. So it makes sense that a child would be it makes sense that a child would learn more during this time frame. Now, the thing that I learned that was just totally outstanding was that the brains in 0 to 3 year olds, they make 1 million synaptic or nerve cell connections per second. I had to go back and read that thing a whole lot of more times. So anyway, with that being the case, I became very, very, very intentional with my grandchildren, more so than with my children. Because when you're with your children, hey, you're in the middle of it. But with your grandchildren, you can sit back and kind of relax because you kind of give them back to their parents, at the end of the day. So anyway, I had become very intentional with teaching them things. And I want you to know that your child starts learning from birth, actually before birth, because you can read to your child while they're in the womb and they will, they hear what you're saying. Okay. So from zero, from the time that they're born, they are learning. And this makes sense because they learn to talk, they learn to give you cues on when they want something, like crying, if they're wet, crying, if they're not fed. Just that's the way that they do. Crying if they're sleepy. That's their first line of communication with you. So, what happens is when they are 0 to 6 months, they are learning. So, during this time, the most important time that you have to bond with them is at diaper changes. Okay? And when you're doing your diaper changes, then you do little things with them, like maybe even, co cool to them, or say the ABC song, or you can even do things like counting, putting your fingers up, counting 1, 2, 3, and they are taking these things in. Of course, they can't respond right then, but they are taking it in. Remember, 1 million synaptic connections per second. So they are making these connections even at that young age. But what I'm going to talk about more today is the 6-month-old to the 1 year old and the things that I do with them. Another thing that you can do for your newborn is sing songs like Itsy Bitsy Spider. In other ones, I will maybe show you how to do it. Well, let me just give it to you right now. Okay? So, with the babies, while you're doing the diaper change, they can't move, they can't go anywhere. So, you've got them, you've got their undivided attention. So, I do this one little song that they love. And it's just Itsy Bitsy Spider. But as you continue to do it, you will see them expect things to happen. So it's like, this is the way I do it, okay? And we just go, Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout, clap really big. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain, and the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. And then I do a ba-dump, 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 and kind of tickle them in their tummy area. And you would not believe how it makes them laugh. And eventually, maybe 3 months or so, they start kind of anticipating the ba-dump, 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 as well as the last stanza. And, and went up the spout again. They kind of know and start anticipating those things. So that's just one little thing that I do. So I want to thank everybody who's in, uh, who came in to view. I'm kind of new at this, so it's hard for me to read the comments while I'm talking. So I'll get them at the end. Okay. So anyway, those are some things that you can do for the 0 to 3 to 6 month old, and as long as they're doing diaper changes, you can start doing other little songs and things like that, and they actually listen. So this is a special bonding time for you and your child. Okay. Now, for the 6 months old, the first thing you've got to do is get an environment, a learning environment for them to have. Okay. that place needs to be a place where they know that they are going to go to, and that when you go there, then that's what, that's where they know what they're going to do. And one of the things that I do is to create, well, one of the things I did to create that environment is I put my materials that I'm going to use with the children, I put my materials in a place where it's easy to get to. Okay, so the first thing that I do is, well, the first thing that I work with them with are like puzzles, alphabet puzzles and number puzzles and shape puzzles, like this little number puzzle and this shape puzzle. Okay, and my favorite puzzle, oh, and this is an alphabet puzzle too. This is not my favorite until they get older because it's got so much going on. But this one is much better because it has the letters match the letters that they're going to put in, the puzzle pieces. So this one is really, really good. I'm not sure if it's still in existence. I've had it for about 10 years. My oldest grandchild is 10, so I've had it about that long. And you see, it's in pretty good shape. So it's a good investment to make, because especially if you're planning to have more children or if you're planning to have grandchildren one day. Okay, so what I do to keep these together in my learning environment is I put them in buckets. And this is just a refurbished or a repurposed coconut oil jar. And what I did was I just put some paper over it and put the label of what's in it. Now, to keep up with your puzzle pieces, okay, this is not the one I want. I want the one with the alphabets. Okay, to keep up with these puzzle pieces for 10 years, this is how you do it. Okay, repurposed jar. And inside this jar, whenever I get ready to go to a puzzle, of course I have it labeled on the outside what it is. And I use these handy dandy Ziploc bags, okay? And I do get the Ziploc because they tend to work better, and this bag, yeah, they last longer. So I just do the Ziploc bag, put all my puzzle pieces in it, and I have the child help me to put the puzzle pieces back in the bag, and I have them hold them, and they're interactive. The more interactive things that you have for them, the better it is, because they can touch them and go from there. Okay, so we start out with puzzles like these, and there you have it. And the actual puzzles, I have lots of them, okay? And the actual puzzles, I keep them in a little book rack that is too low for me to show you, but it's just one of those colored book racks. Let me see, maybe I can change right quick to, whoops, nope, can't do that. Well, anyway, maybe next time I'll have it set up to where you can actually see the type of book rack. It's just one of those children's book racks that is multicolored, and you can just slide these. They fit perfectly. You can just slide these down in it. Now, the good thing about this is that you've got your environment. Actually, I sit on the floor with my children. and it's everything is right there in hand reach so that you can get whatever object it is that you want to do. Okay, I also have um, these, and for when your babies are first born, this is from zero, it starts at 0 months. You can start showing them these things. These are just let me see. And this was just something random that we got because we knew that children liked, uh, and it has these different cards in it. Okay, so let me just show you how I use these. And this is from 0 to, well, my grandchild is 10 months and he still likes these. And then you just show them to them, and eventually they learn what they are. So I'll show you how I use these, and then after that I'm going to let you guys go. If you like the information that I'm giving you, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Okay, so this is how I use these. I have the baby and they're sitting in my lap, and I hold this out in front of the child, and I just say, white background with black square in the middle and a red square on the inside. And then I flip it over, and now my 10-month-old is beginning to anticipate the flip. And he even goes to try to touch the different colors as I say them. So I'll say on this one, oops, a black background with a white square in the middle and a red square on the inside. And just saying these things over and over, well, once a day. And you can, it doesn't take that long, 15 to 30 minutes, and you're done. And then, maybe later on you can do something else if you want to, but you've had that time that you can bond with your child. And with that bonding, your child is learning. So you're actually teaching them something while they're learning, while you're communicating and bonding. So I think that this works great for children, because statistics also say that when you don't talk to children, that they don't survive. There have been studies that showed where some psychiatrists say that, it was a theory at that time, don't talk to the children. So they did an experiment where they didn't talk to group A, and they did talk to group B, and the children in group A who were not talked to were less developed. So this gives you a time to talk to your children, because when I had my children, I didn't know baby talk. I just didn't know it. So I said, so I do need to communicate. Well, why don't I just teach them some things, talk to them about educational things? And that is one of the first steps that I did not know I was doing at the time, but now I do know that it was something that worked. And now I am much more intentional about what I expose to my grandchildren, because, man, their minds are like little sponges. And even though it's not immediate, if you just are consistent, then you will help your child love learning, and they will be a lifetime learner. And I think that was very, very key with my children when they were growing up. They enjoyed learning, and it was basically because that's all they knew. So, and we tried to make it fun. So those are tips for you. If you like the video today, subscribe, and let's see here. I'm trying to look at your comments now. Okay, okay, yeah, Carla. Thanks. Yeah, those Ziploc bags, they help you keep the floor clean, and they also give instill in the child. Um, they instill in the child the thing of putting things back up when they finish. So it really is a good thing to do. Okay, so hit the channel and subscribe. What I will do is I will try to put, well, I'm kind of new at this, but I will see if I can figure out how to put the links to some of these puzzles, or at least one of the puzzles. This 3 set has 3 different things, and I can put the link to it in there. It's on Amazon. So thank you very much, and you all have a great evening. Bye. I don't know how to turn it off. There. Are you sure you want to stop?